From an early age, I've always had an obsession over people who could speak multiple languages fluently. We call them polyglots. But I never had a chance to learn a language other than English. Because from my family's perspective, learning a language could never open as big doors as other areas of education do. However, a year ago, things got changed. I finally got a chance to learn German, for free actually. But still, my family was against it, and saying that learning two languages and working at the same time was impossible. But I kept going. After achieving my goal of speaking German at B2 level in 3 months, my life got changed dramatically. I could win in an Olympiad and meet youngsters of Uzbekistan who were successful, and I shifted my mindset. Most importantly, I could actually improve my health. And today, as I have this floor to speak, I want to share some amazing and somehow shocking benefits of learning a second language. But before we start, I want to hear some answers to the question, what has learning a new language brought to your life? Do we have any volunteers who want to answer to this question? Yeah, you can answer.
Learning a new language brought me new job opportunities and friends.
Oh, that's actually a good example because that has happened with me as well. So do we have any other people who want to answer? Because I'm really sure that all of you here speak English, yeah? So that's your second language. So as we don't have any other answers, so let's move on to the main part of the speech. Today I want to share top 3 beautiful and unexpected benefits of learning a new language. So, long story short, let's begin. First, we're starting off strong. A second personality. A study conducted by Dr. Boaz Kaysar tested the trolley problem. Having to choose to sacrifice one individual to save 5. Well, when switched to second language, participants were twice as likely to choose the cold, logic-driven decision to sacrifice the individual. This is because your native tongue, your native language is bound to your childhood memories, while the second language is the emotional buffer. It helps you to make better decisions. So, let me explain this to you through neuroscience. Your native tongue is bound and hardwired to the amygdala, the brain's emotional center. So, an insult, a curse word, or deliberation of love can cause an instant and involuntary reaction. So you just react instead of thinking, instead of answering. While a second language is learned later in life through structured and academic effort. Yeah? So it's bound to the prefrontal cortex, an area responsible for speech, and called logical reasoning, which means you will be able to make better and good decisions that can actually change your life. So your brain just avoids reacting, and it switches to answering, and it starts to analyze the topic. So let's move on to the next point. This is actually the main point, the brain's actual physical growth. For decades, science thought that adult brain was fixed, but polyglots proved them wrong. The physical growth of a brain during language learning has to be the most monumental discoveries human beings have ever made. Because everyone thought it was impossible for a brain to reshape itself. But when you learn a second language, the brain can actually remodel itself. That's called structural neuroplasticity. So, let me give you some examples. First, we have synaptogenesis. Every single new word, new grammar rule, or a new sound actually forces your brain to produce new neurons and force them to make new branches. So your brain just expands itself. And we have neurogenesis. Instant language learning actually forces your brain to produce neurons. And your memory can actually expand because the neurons in hippocampus will get more and they will get produced more and faster. And we have myelination as well. So the growth in myelination actually helps your brain to run the signals 100 times faster, which means you will be able to catch the reference or understand the topic way faster than monolinguals. And we have a research and information where brain scans show that the language learning actually expands specific estate in the brain. First, as you can see here, we have the hippocampus. When you learn a language, you have to store thousands of vocabulary to your brain. It basically means your brain will have to create new areas for that vocabulary. So that's actually called a growth. And hippocampus is actually responsible for memory and reasoning. And we have a study by a Swedish interpreter. When he learned the language, he also led an experiment. So when his experiment showed that when you learn a language, while storing thousands of vocabulary, you actually expand your own memory. And your brain will be able to store information way faster than individual's brain who speak only one language. And that actually helps your memorizing skills, and you will be able to adapt way faster to any situation in your life. And we have the third point. Last but not least, you will gain significant mindset shift. That's not similar to the first point. Just trust the process. This is difficult. This is a difficult process and a different stuff. So, when you learn a new language, your brain realizes that one context can be used to different cultural contexts. And we have the theory of mind, where people realize that the world is not built with same opinions. Through that period, you realize that every single human being can have different opinions because they have been through different situations. So it leads your brain to actually make new decisions, and you will avoid thinking that there are stupid or wrong people. You will just start accepting that there are people who have been in different situations. And you understand that people have different cultural contexts. You realize that people have different beliefs, cultural opinions, desires than your own. So, today we talked about some information about learning a second language. Today I shared a tiny piece of information human beings have ever gained. Today, as I had this floor to speak, I could share the amazing advantages of a second language in your life. Now, imagine how powerful a multilingual brain could be. Learning a new language is not just about learning new words or switching to another vocabulary. It's about allowing your brain to grow physically and alter your reality and actually finding a new soul hidden inside you. If you speak a foreign language or any other language, just be aware of the fact that you're a walking magic. And every single new language will bring magics to your life with itself. Thank you.